Crystal Palace, a team on hot fire form, a team that's attracting fans from all over the world for the football they play, on the ball, off the ball, the stars at their disposal, but most importantly, the manager that's come from the German league, a Europa League winner in 2022. But the question is, what's he done that Roy Hodgson couldn't? What's he done that Patrick Vieira couldn't? How is he getting this high level quality of football out of these talented players on a consistent basis? What's he changed? What's he doing right? What's he taking out? What's he focusing on? And most importantly, what does the future hold for Crystal Palace? So without further ado, if you're new, make sure to hit the like, make sure to subscribe. Let's get into the video. Now let's refer to him as OG. Yeah, OG, Oliver Glasner. Where did he get it right? Came into a South London team, came into Crystal Palace, and the first thing he done, the first thing he changed, and you guys know me, I'm a sucker for tactics. I'm a sucker for managers that play out of the back, the 3 and the 5s, the different transitions. I love it. Walks into this Crystal Palace team, and the first thing he says, listen, we're going to do a 3-4-2-1. Now, a lot of people look at it and automatically think it's a 3-4-3. It isn't. It's a 3-4-2-1. Because the two players in attack that everybody loves, that everybody wants to sign, that everybody wants playing for their team, Eze and Olise, are utilised as two inside forwards. Get them closer to goal, but most importantly, get them close to the number 9. A number 9 that looks completely different from the number 9 of last year, but it's a 3-4-2-1. 3 centre-halves, 2 wing-backs, 2 midfielders, 2 inside forwards, and a number 9 that can do 2 jobs. He can either be an outlet that stretches out the pitch, but at the same time, he can drop deep, connect the dots, and feed the ball into the 2 inside forwards that have the quality to put the ball into the back of the net, like they've shown. If you look at the screen, this is the setup. Now let's talk about build-up, seeing as that's something a lot of people like to focus on. Build-up. How does OG's team build up? How do they play out of the back? How do they beat the opposition press? It's a 3-2-5. It's 3-2-5, but like I said, the beauty in it is they can transform into so many different ways of playing. But it's a 3-2-5 with the 3 centre-halves. Then you've got the 2 midfielders that drop deep to provide that outlet, to provide that passing angle. But at the same time, if it ever gets congested in the centre, you've always got the 2 wing-backs out wide, stretching the pitch. As long as you've got players stretching the pitch, there is no way in hell the centre can get congested. Unless the opposition choose to ignore the wing-backs, but put 1 and 2 together. If they choose to ignore the wing-backs and focus on the centre, it literally gives you an outlet on both wings. 1 pass over the top and you're through. But the 3-2-5, the 3-4-2-1 that he plays, why I love it the most is the passing angles. Let's call it PA. Yeah, PA. The passing angles in this setup are countless. I feel like every player on the ball, if you see on the screen, every player on the ball has at least 3-4 passing angles to them. To the left, to the right, forwards, backwards, to the sides. The passing angles are there, and they're there for fun. And the beauty in it is, once you teach players their roles and they get familiar with their roles, and football is all about repetition. The more you play in that role, the more familiar you get, the more experience, the more comfortable you get. Eventually, it just becomes easy to progress the ball forwards, to defend, to play out of the back. And that's what this Crystal Palace team resembles. Besides the passing angles, even in build-up, for a team that likes to utilise the wing-backs because of their sheer pace in Tyreek Mitchell and Munoz, you've got diamonds. You've got diamonds. Bro, this is a team. It's got triangles. It's got diamonds. It's got hexagons. It's got all the other shapes that you can think of. But it's got 2 diamonds out wide. And on top of everything, it's got itself a nice little triangle in attack where you've got Mateta with right beneath him, Olise and Eze. The point is, the passing angles are countless. There's a reason why this Crystal Palace team look good on the ball. There's a reason why this Crystal Palace team is creating more chances, being able to sustain more pressure, being able to dominate the ball. Because players always have an option available to them. And as long as they make the right decision, the ball will move forwards and eventually the ball will go into the back of the net. Now, off the ball, that's another thing a lot of people like to focus on. How do they set up? What do they do? Funnily enough, off the ball, it's still the same. It's 3-4-2-1. The players get a little bit narrow. The flanks are occupied by the two wing backs. But most importantly, what is it? Is it a high line? Is it a deep defensive line like we saw under Roy Hodgson? Which, in a sense, put the players in a lot of trouble because if they lost the ball in their own half, the opposition are in on goal. But most importantly, when it comes to build-up, you're now being forced to play throughout the entire pitch. Where LG's got it right is he's looked at this team and he's seen physically they're very dominant. Physicality, they're one of the best when it comes to their midfielders in Adam Wharton, when it comes to their centre halves in Mark Gay, in Chris Richards, when it comes to the wing backs in Mitchell, Munoz, when it comes to the central players, Lise, Eze, Mateta, it's a team that's physically dominant. So rather than playing the more defensive style of football, the deep line, which asks a lot from players, but most importantly, it invites pressure. He set his team up in a mid-block. Now, I've always said, for me, a mid-block is like the best of both worlds. Because it's not a high line where you're fully exposed and you can be exposed, the opposition can target you. And it's not a deep defensive line where you invite pressure. It's the best of both worlds. It's a relatively high line, but at the same time, it's relatively deep. The point of a mid block is to congest the center of the field, to cramp it out. And now you leave the opposition with one thing to do. Either they go man to man, or they focus on the center, which leaves the flanks open. If they choose to focus on the flanks, it leaves the center open. So in a sense, it provides you with two ways of playing. And I'll be honest, I genuinely think this is the main reason why that front three in particular that have been on sky-high form, they've been on fire, the Matetas, the Ezes, the Olises. Why have they been on sky-high form? Why are they putting the ball into the back of the net on a consistent basis? Why are they creating chances on a consistent basis, regardless of the opposition? The beauty in it is, I feel like OG walked into the team. Eze, throughout the years, you've seen him play deep at times. You've seen him play down the centre. You've seen him play out wide. I've seen Eze play 8, 10, out wide, all over the place. The best of managers look at their players and the first thing they do is set up their team to play to their best of players' strengths. Now I will repeat that. The best of managers play to the best of their players' strengths. Because at the end of the day, they are your best players. Play to their strengths, they'll score you goals. They'll win you games. You'll climb up the table. Football is a simple game. So I feel like he's walked into the team and he's looked at Eze. He's looked at Elise, 2 stars. 2 stars of South London. He looked at both of them and thought, listen, both of you, you've got that killer pass in your locker. Both of you have got that final strike in your locker. Both of you have got the mobility to play in tight areas. Both of you can carry your ball. Both of you can connect the dots, help the team on and off the ball. What better than to put you two close to one another and then complement you two with a more physical number 9, a focal point. When you look at Crystal Palace and you look at some of the goals that they've scored under OG, those 3 players are always in close proximity of one another. When you've got players in close proximity of one another, the passing angles are always there. The options are always there. You can feed one another. You can play off one another. You can literally bounce the ball off one another whilst the third man makes the run. You look at some of the goals this year. Simple 1-2s and Mateta's in on goal. Eze carrying the ball, sliding Mateta in on goal. Eze with the little decoy runs to create space for Elise to cut in on his favoured left foot. It's a 3-man attack that complements one another. Why? Because the skill sets are broad. The skill sets are broad, but most importantly, the thing I love about that trio is it's very selfless. It's very selfless. There's no I in team. And I don't look at any of those 3 players and think one of them wants to be the star and take all the spotlight. No. If I have to give it to you because you're in a better position, then so be it. Because I want the team to win. I want the team to score. But all 3 of them have been on sky-high form. And there's only one man to credit. And it's OG. for realizing these two talented stars need to play closer to goal rather than out wide hugging the touchline. They can do it, but I feel like they're more penetrative closer to goal. So shout out OG for this transformation, and make sure to smash the likes, and I'll catch you guys on another video.